Am I allowed to talk my shit? Yes or no? Before starting this video, just know this is not spoiler free. I don't care if it just came out last night. I do not give a flying fuck. This movie is leaked 10 trillion times over. You'd be lucky as hell if you haven't seen a spoiler thus far. I ain't gonna hold you on, my nigga. Like, before I went into this movie, I knew every important plot point going into this shit. I ain't gonna hold you at all, bro. The Flash. Spoiler full. I'm talking about this movie in every single fucking detail possible. If you haven't seen it yet, you want to go see it, click off this fucking video. I promise to God, I'm spoiling the ever-living shit out of that movie. Not that it fucking matters, because it's terrible, bro. Like, I'm not even gonna wait till the end of the movie to give it a rating. It's probably like a smooth, I don't know, bro, 2 out of 10. 2 Ezra Millers out of 10. Whatever the fuck I be putting at the end of this shit, my nigga. It's not a good movie whatsoever, bro. I guess we can start from the very fucking beginning. I had a lot of hope going into this shit. I know I've been saying a lot that, you know, I was praying on this movie's downfall, that I was constantly, you know, hoping that would fucking fail. I just didn't think it was gonna be this bad is the only thing, bro. Like, there is just no possible way. It's an accomplishment that they made that bad, honestly, bro. Like, they had to purposely go in here and make this movie this fucking terrible. There's just no goddamn way, dog. Like, I genuinely think the director was like, yo, I finally get to work on my favorite childhood superhero, The Flash. And then he turned on his TV and saw the news channel. Ezra Miller has kidnapped 35,000 people. Ezra Miller has started his own cult. Ezra Miller is everything that Ezra Miller did. And as he's just sitting there watching this, she's like, bro, I'm fucked. Like, he wanted to rush the fuck out of this movie just so he can get his name out there shit and start whatever next project he was going into, bro. But this movie is just, it wasn't good. And the main reason that I like kind of don't like it the most is that if you go back and watch any trailer reaction I did, if you go back and watch any podcast, anything I said about this fucking movie, I guessed the entire movie off that fucking trailer, bro. Like I said, spoiler, I don't give a fuck. But the nigga that I guessed was gonna be the bad guy, the other Ezra Miller, the other Flash that was inside that, the younger version of himself, my nigga, he was the bad guy. I said that shit, my nigga. You could tell that shit in the fucking trailer, bro. But we'll get to that part whenever we get to it. So the movie starts off, Ezra Miller basically is, you know, has to eat something so he can, you know, start his fucking run for the day and go save a whole bunch of niggas or whatever. Like, if you don't know about the Flash, he basically has the highest metabolism, and since he runs so much, he has to constantly be eating a lot of shit. That's one plot point that I think they keep steady throughout the entire movie. Like, every time he runs a lot, he always eats. Like, I'm glad at least they didn't forget that fucking shit, because that's like the most important thing about the Flash. At least they got that part right. Anytime he runs throughout the entire movie, and it's a lot, he'll always be eating something. It won't even like spotlight it. He'll just be eating a candy bar or just some random shit like a hot dog or some shit like that. But he has to eat something before he goes on this run to Gotham to help out Bruce do some bullshit or something. So he goes inside the coffee shop. The usual girl that I guess orders from isn't there, so he has to get some goofy ass nigga to make his orders. Some complicated ass peanut butter and jelly on a fucking tortilla wrap or some shit. So he tells him all that, and the guy's taking too long, and Bruce is calling like, yo, where you at? Yo. So he's like, alright, bet. He goes in the bathroom, changes, and then runs out the fucking shop. That's the very beginning, my nigga. This sequence from that point until he runs back into the shop has to be like at least 45 minutes. There's no way. Not in actual life, but like in fucking movie time. Like, it passes 45 fucking minutes, my nigga. So he runs to Gotham. I'll get to that in a second. He runs to Gotham. It turns out this building is collapsing, and Barry has to make sure the building doesn't collapse or some shit. He goes in the fucking underground and starts fixing support beams and shit like that, but it ends up collapsing, and a whole bunch of babies fall out of this fucking window. This is where the movie immediately turned off for me. 5 minutes of the fucking movie. This is where I was like, alright, so we here now. So as the babies are falling out, it is the most CGI mess I have ever seen in my entire life, bro. Like, if you think back to like any fucking old ass movie where it shows a fake ass baby, like think of The Mask or some shit, when The Mask has like a kid or some shit with Jim Carrey, and the babies are like stretch his face out and shit. Like, those babies look like that dumbass baby, my nigga. It's 2023. That movie came out in like 1998, nigga. There's no way that babies are still looking this fucking bad in this generation, my nigga. Not when you have movies like the Avatar, Planet of the Apes. Not when you have movies that are, you know, high scale when it comes to CGI. There is no possible way they should look that fucking bad, my nigga. Like, It's laughably bad. I wouldn't even critique it if it wasn't that fucking bad as CGI. Y'all know I'm rough, but I'm not like, yo, CGI was terrible, bad movie. When you see this shit, I'm not even gonna try to look online to put a picture up or nothing, because then they'll probably just try to fucking, I don't know, take the video down or some stupid shit. I'm spoiling it or something. But when you see these babies, bro, it is the most horrendous looking art I've ever seen in my goddamn life. That's besides the point though. The babies fall out the window because it's like some hospital or some shit. He has to go through methods of saving all of them. He puts a baby inside a microwave so it doesn't get fucking... It's so hard to fucking just... As I'm sitting here speaking about it, it's just like the more it dawns on me, just like, bro, what was that fucking movie, bro? Like, oh my god. But yes, he saves all the babies. They all get on the fucking ground. He talks to Bruce. Bruce is like, whatever the fuck. And then he runs back to the coffee shop. That whole sequence is 45 minutes. I don't give a fuck how long or how fast the nigga was running. I don't give a fuck. He was still running. He was still walking at regular pace for like half that fucking scene, my nigga. There's a scene where Batman is really chasing goons throughout the streets of fucking Gotham. That couldn't have been less. It couldn't have been less. No way it was less than 10 minutes. I'm saying it was like 45, but there was no way it's less than 10 minutes, my nigga. He runs back to the coffee shop. And the dude's like, alright, here's your order. Like, there's no way it took you that long to make that shit work. Oh my god, bro. Like, everything I just explained all was in one scene for that nigga to put some peanut butter on a wrap and turn around. Nigga, you didn't go that fast, dog. Because as you're doing the fast shit, it keeps switching back and forth between Flash and showing Batman what the fuck he's doing. Batman's not a super speed nigga. He's not a speedster. He's driving through the streets at regular fucking pace, chasing goons, fighting niggas, going crazy. Like, just think of how long the sequence was at the end of Dark Knight Rises when they're all fighting inside the streets and shit. It's basically at that same line of minute, nigga. It's like a 20-minute scene, but inside the scene is probably like at least like 15 to fucking 20 minutes, 25 minutes maybe at the most. There's no way Barry runs back inside that fucking coffee shop, runs to the bathroom, super speed change, runs back to the counter, and the guy's like, alright, here you go. I'm like, bro, what the me and my homie, we started audibly laughing in the fucking theater, bro. Like, he's a film nigga, but he actually directs and produces and shit like that, so he's like an actual, genuine film nigga. I just watch movies, so it was just like, bro, like, we just start laughing, like, okay, so alright, so we here now, this is what we're gonna be expecting. All that was in the first 10 minutes of the fucking movie, bro. Like, when I say I'm about to dissect the fuck out of this shit, it's already... If you got something you gotta do, bro, click off right now. Like, I'm not gonna... This might be my longest video known to man on this fucking channel, because it makes no sense. So, he ends up running to his old mom's house after all that shit happens. If you guys don't know the Flash's story, basically when the Flash was a kid, he walked in and his mom dead on the ground, and the dad was like standing over her trying to comfort her. He was like, call the cops, and then, you know, it seems that the dad kills the mom or whatever. But if you guys know the story, then Reverse Flash broke in the house, stabbed the mom, and then placed it on the fucking dad's hands and then ran out of there. So the dad's not the killer, obviously. But Barry inside this, Reverse Flash isn't inside this movie whatsoever. Let me go ahead and say it right now. If you're expecting Reverse Flash, anything like that, that nigga is not inside this movie at all. So, Barry runs to the house, is looking at it. He's talking to his dad on the phone. His dad is, of course, inside jail and has been for the past 23 years waiting for his fucking court case. I don't know on what planet it takes somebody's court case to last that fucking long. I have no fucking idea, but 23 years, the dad's talking on the phone. He's like, Barry, you know, sometimes you just gotta, you know, let things go every now and then. But Barry, of course, is looking at the house, and the dad's like, what's that old song that mom used to sing to you? And then Barry starts singing the song, and then eventually he hangs up on the dad and is like, nah, fuck that, and starts running as fast as he can, like down that street or whatever. While doing that, he ends up going to like this fucking time manipulation chamber where he can see all the moments that are like vital inside of his life, and he looks through this one portal and he sees himself saving the babies previously in the scene before. So he's like, well, I can time travel even further than I could. Because you guys remember back in Justice League, he was able to time travel back in like 5 seconds or some shit. Now he realizes he can time travel back full days and full months and full weeks and shit like that. So he looks back and sees himself doing that shit. He's like, yo. So he talks to Batman again. He calls him like, Batman, bro, I can save my parents. I'm able to time travel. I can save my mom. And, you know, everything's gonna be okay. And Batman basically tells him something along the lines of like, look, bro, we have these scars, which is actually a fire ass line, which is why I'm mad that what they did with Ben Affleck's character. Ben Affleck's like, yo, we have these scars as people. You know, all these scars that are on us, they make us who the fuck we are. We can't go back and change that shit because who the fuck knows what else it could change, because it could be a vital point in time. You can't change shit like that. Barry completely disregards him, goes back in time, saves his mom. The way he does it, just whatever the fuck, who the fuck cares, my nigga. He basically, the way his mom died was the mom forgot some green tomatoes at the store, sends the dad to the store to go get some. Somebody breaks in while the dad is going, kills the mom, the dad comes back, and then everything gets planted on him, basically. But he goes back in time, puts the green tomatoes inside her grocery cart so she never forgets that shit, never sends the dad's out, and then never, she survives, basically. Goes back in time to the present time or whatever, and notices, you know, mom is still alive, the dad is out of jail, everything's happy, go lucky, whatever the fuck. Looks out the window and sees a younger version of himself walking towards the house or whatever. The younger version walks in, they meet each other. Well, actually, no. The parents don't know there's two versions, of course. The nigga runs outside, they meet each other outside, whatever. This is all just like me just explaining something so I can like talk about the further on in the movie type shit. I'm just trying to explain as much as I can in such a short period of time, whatever. They meet each other, that's how the story starts. So it's two flashes. They realize that that day is the day the Flash is supposed to get his powers. When he meets that younger version, he does not have powers yet. So he grabs him, like, yo, we have to go to this lab up here so you can get your powers, and then we can both have our powers, and then it'll be a lot easier for us to get back to my fucking timeline where I belong. So they go to the lab. For some dumbass reason, I have no fucking idea why, bro. This is another just stupid part of the goddamn movie. For some dumbass reason, he sits the younger version down, is like, yo, so you sit right here, lightning's gonna strike this chemical thing, or your chemical rack right there, it's gonna go through that, shock you, you're getting superpowers. I already did this shit, you'll be alright. The younger version's like, oh, I'm getting shocked, and starts panicking and getting up, and the nigga grabs like, no, you have to get shocked or else I don't know what the fuck is gonna happen. So he like actively has to hold him there while that nigga's just sitting there going crazy. I don't want to get shocked, no! For whatever fucking reason, lightning comes through, strikes through the present Barry. Of course, I'll call him Barry 1. I'll call the main character Barry 1, the nigga that went back in time. Strikes through Barry 1, the lightning bolt goes through him, strikes Barry 2, and then Barry 2 gets his powers. And you can actively see a hole closing inside Barry 2 as like, yo, he got his regenerated powers. Yo, that's crazy. But this next part literally makes no fucking sense whatsoever. Barry 2 has his powers, right? Somehow, when the lightning struck through Barry 1 and went through Barry 2, Barry 1 lost his powers in that transaction. That's not the part that makes any sense. That's not the part. Okay, cool. Now he doesn't have powers. The other nigga does. But you see a hole close inside Barry 2 to regenerate himself. Did that light just change? What the fuck? I don't know, my nigga. The Flash probably did that shit. You see a light, hole close inside Barry 2 to regenerate himself. So how the fuck did the nigga that has no powers anymore, Barry 1, because it got transferred to the other nigga, how did he survive then? You saw a hole through the nigga that got hit the second time. The lightning bolt went through the first nigga and then went through this nigga, and the hole was this big. So the first nigga's hole had to be at least like this, my nigga. You got hit first. How the fuck did you survive that shit? Like it went through him first and then transferred to the other nigga, meaning you would no longer have your powers and you would just be dead. The movie would not exist, my nigga. There is no fucking oh my god, that shit just pissed me off so much, my nigga. But that's whatever. Sure, okay, I guess whatever remnants left of his powers there where they heal himself. I have no fucking idea. Literally no fucking idea. But there's a scene inside that same scene that contradicts that point, because the Barry 1's tooth falls out. When he tries to put it back in his mouth, it won't regenerate, meaning he doesn't have regenerative powers, meaning how the fuck that nigga survived being struck by lightning with no fucking powers. Who fucking knows, my nigga? Who knows? But Barry 2 has powers now. Barry 1 doesn't. Barry 1 asks Barry 2 like, yo, is there any other, heroes here that we can try to talk to, whatever the fuck. He's like, nah. And in the midst of that conversation, they look at the TV and see that General Zod, which of course was from Man of Steel, we've all seen that shit. General Zod is now coming to this planet to wreak havoc, basically during the Man of Steel timeline. If you guys haven't caught the drift yet, this is a way younger Barry's timeline. So this is like the timeline of 2014 maybe. So he's still stuck in 2014. He's trying to get back to 2023. So of course that would mean that General Zod is coming there in the same time that he'd be fighting Superman and shit like that. So that confirms that the Flash has his powers during that whole Man of Steel thing. But it does explain it. I do like the part. It does explain it why the fuck he didn't help Superman, because he had just gotten his powers that day. He tried to help Superman, but of course, if you guys have seen Man of Steel, the anti-gravity thing would pick stuff up and then slam it down. So he would try to run and then start floating and then come back down real fast. So that explains it perfectly. Sure, you literally could not do anything because you just got your powers, 1, and 2, you can't even fucking run on ground. So sure, all right, best say less. So their plan is to try to find out if there's any other superheroes now. Cyborg doesn't exist yet because he's still inside high school, being a being a fucking football player. Wonder Woman just doesn't exist at all inside this timeline. Who the fuck knows why? There is no Aquaman again. Who the fuck knows why? There is no who the fuck else is there, my nigga? There is a Batman. Yes. Instead of using Ben Affleck, we've all seen the fucking trailer. It is Michael Keaton. So they go to Michael Keaton's house, wherever the fuck. He fights them for a little bit, and they're able to discuss like, yo, General Zod is here. That nigga's about to destroy everything. Can you please help us out? You're Batman. You should know what the fuck you do. Batman is Batman, so I don't know what the fuck you expect that nigga to do against General Zod. Who the fuck knows? But he gives them an idea like, yo, if there was a Superman here, if there is a Superman here, then that means we'd be able to find him through my fucking CIA tech that I have inside my fucking Batcave or whatever the fuck. So they scour the internet. Alright, best say less. There was a pod that got transferred to Russia or some shit. They go to Russia. They find out there is no Superman at all. It's only Supergirl. They get her. She gets her powers. So. I'm gonna start speeding through this shit because like this is just like the middle part that you literally cannot mess up inside the movie because it's just like building fucking whatever the fuck for the end of the movie. They get Supergirl. They go to fight Zod. They find out through all the midst of fighting Zod, another dumbass part happens, by the way. This part got leaked from me, but it does kind of get explained in the movie where I won't get as mad from it. It leaked. I saw a leak on Twitter, of course. During the entire fight with General Zod, Supergirl, Flash, all that shit. During that entire fucking fight, Batman breaks his fucking eject thing and then can't fucking escape his plane, and he dies inside that shit. I would have been mad if it didn't kind of get explained, which it does. Basically, everything that happens during that fight is a submitted point in time. Batman is supposed to die right there. Supergirl's supposed to lose that fight against Zod, and she's also supposed to die. And Zod is supposed to take over that timeline. They keep trying over and over again. Batman dies multiple times. He dies during the plane crash. He dies during that crash that you guys might have seen during the league. He dies fighting the fucking big ass nigga that Superman was fighting inside Man of Steel multiple fucking times. Also, let me go ahead and say this shit because I'm hating like fuck on this movie right now. Batman is the best part of this fucking movie. His fighting scenes, phenomenal. It wasn't Michael Keaton behind that fucking suit at all. It definitely was a stunt man. But his fighting scenes were crazy, my nigga. Like, I was seeing shit that I was actually like, yo, that's fucking insane. When he's fighting the big nigga, he would like put C4 on him, swing around him, grab him by his neck, have it explode. He was doing like Arkham City level shit. Like, I was like, damn, this Batman is fucking crazy. I like Batman inside this shit. I like Supergirl inside this shit. Everything about this movie else, ass, dog shit, all that bullshit. Basura, whatever the fuck you want to call that shit. So, they find out that this is a submitted point in time and that there's literally no way we can save the fucking planet. So Barry 1 tells Barry 2 like, yo, I didn't tell you this when I first got here, but the reason I came back was because I wanted to save Mom. She's not alive inside my timeline, but it seems like she has to die to prevent all this stuff from happening and there being no fucking planet whatsoever. She has to die. And of course, that's the part where you see inside the fucking trailer where that nigga's like, nobody dies! We're going crazy and shit. Like, obviously, the nigga's gonna turn into an antagonist or whatever the fuck. So that nigga starts going crazy. Barry 2 starts losing his fucking mind, and he literally like he literally goes back in time like 5 trillion fucking times trying to protect Batman, trying to protect Superman, trying to fucking win this shit. While Barry 1 is just sitting inside the chamber watching him run back and forth, and each time he runs back to the fucking fight to fight Batman and all them niggas, he gets hit by something. So the first time he runs back, the girl that was on General Zod's team, if you see Man of Steel, the girl that was on his team hits him on the arm, and like a shrapnel like makes a fucking blade or some shit. The second time, they stab him in his back and he gets like a fucking thing right here. You stab him right here, he gets another thing right here. He just starts looking more and more evil the more he comes back. His shrapnel is just like starting to slowly cover this nigga everywhere until he comes back just looking evil as shit basically. And Barry's like, bro, you're not gonna do anything. That there's no fucking possible way that anything's gonna happen, my nigga. You're not gonna be able to save this. This is a submitted point in time. There's no possible way that we save this timeline unless we let mom die. Now, at this point in the movie, I've seen so much bad CGI. Every time the nigga fucking Ezra Miller runs, he runs like this. I don't know why they chose to make the nigga run like that. I have no fucking idea. As he's going back in time, running back and forth, it's showing all the timelines. So that's why you guys see all like the bad fucking images of Christopher Reeve Superman, Nicolas Cage as Superman for whatever fucking reason. All the stuff you heard about the bad CGI, all that shit is true. So as he's running back in time, back and forth, boom, 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 trying to stop Zod from taking the planet over, it's showing all these different timelines of people just doing random shit. I don't fucking know why it does that, but the CGI looks like Play-Doh. Like, it literally looks like fucking Shaun and the Sheep claymation. I don't know why. I have no fucking idea. The director tried to come out and was like, yo, it only looks like that because it's inside Flash's vision. Like, no, I don't give a fuck what the fuck you say, nigga. It looks ass. It looks fucking terrible. You're not gonna be able to save this shit, nigga. I'm on your ass, bro. I promise you I am. Running back in time, there's one point that I missed. The first time that Flash goes back in time, like the first time he's able to see where the fuck, he figures out he can go back in time for longer than a fucking day, basically. A force pushes him out of there, like this fucking big gigantic version of Dark Flash pushes him out of the fucking thing, and then he tumbles out of the time travel thing or whatever the fuck. Of course, we all know Barry 2 would end up eventually becoming that dark force that pushes him out of there because he wants to save his mom so bad. He stays in there for eternity trying to find out ways to save the fucking mom. And he pushes the first Flash out of there because he knows Barry 1 is going to want to stop him in the future, whatever the fuck. So I would have been completely fine if Barry 1, I'll give you a few options. If Barry 2 would have kept running back and forth, going crazier and crazier and crazier, and Barry 1 would have been like, hey bro, if you don't stop this nigga, I'm gonna have to stop you. And if they would have had some crazy ass fight scene, I would have took that shit. At least it would have been enjoyable. I love watching speedsters fight because it's in slow motion and they start doing crazy shit. Because you can get really creative when speedsters fight. There is no fucking fight at all. There's no fucking fight whatso goddamn ever. There's no final fight scene, none of that bullshit. The final fight scene might as well damn near be Batman crashing into the fucking whatever the fucking offing himself. That's this fight scene. That's it. There's no, if you're expecting to go in and see like Barry 1 versus Barry 2 or Barry 1 versus Zod, Barry 1 versus the Dark Flash, none of that bullshit ever fucking happens. I would have accepted Barry 1 and Barry 2 coming together, realizing that Barry 2 is going to eventually turn into that evil force because he says it, because they have the same scar on their cheek or whatever the fuck. He's like, yo, do I turn into you? And the other nigga's like, yeah, you do. You get so stuck in your ways of trying to figure this out, but I'm so close to finding it out, so let me just do this shit. If Barry 1 and Barry 2 would have came together to fight the future version of that nigga, that would have been cool too. 2-on-1 speedster fight, sure. That doesn't happen either. The future, let me try to explain this the best I can. They're inside the time realm, whatever the fuck. This sounds like a crazy, what is it, 25 minutes? I'm hating like crazy, god damn, my nigga. So they're inside the time realm, whatever the fuck. The future version, Barry 2, of course known as Dark Flash, is going to stab Barry 1 because he knows that Barry 1 won't stop or won't leave that nigga alone from trying to stop him from finding his mom, whatever the fuck. Goes to stab him, and then Barry 2 just literally just jumps in front of the blade like Harry Osborn inside fucking Spider-Man 3, and then both them niggas just die because if you kill a younger version of something, obviously the future version of it dies too. That's the final fight. And then Barry 1 holds him like, oh, I didn't mean to, and then he just dies, whatever the fuck. All that to say, at the end of the movie, Barry, the entire movie is about him basically moving on. Like, that's what it's trying to make him see. That's what the whole fucking Grand EOS plot is, that you have to move on. Like, no matter what the fuck you go through in life, you have to move on. Don't change anything else. Go back to your fucking timeline. Make sure your mom dies, and then go back home and just leave this shit alone. Don't affect anything, because you don't know what the fuck it'll change. So, that's the whole plot. He clearly realizes that in that moment, like, okay, I have to let my mom die. He goes back to the timeline where he, you know, was able to replace the fucking thing inside the cart, the green tomatoes, whatever the fuck. He's able to have a heartfelt scene with his mom. The mom, of course, doesn't know that's her son, but he's talking to her like, yeah, I'm here visiting my mom, and I love her, and I'm going to miss her when she's gone. And the mom is like, yeah, I love my son too. And then she touches his face for whatever fucking reason. I have no fucking idea. I don't know why she touched his face. No idea. But you saw it in the trailer when she like grabs his face and he starts crying or whatever the fuck. I don't know why she did that, but she just did it. I don't know. So he puts the can off of the fuck, or he takes it out of her cart, puts it back on the thing. So of course the dad will have to go get that at the store, and then she will still die. But the thing that aggravates me the most, that I've been trying to get to by explaining this entire storyline to you niggas, about how he needs to move on, and how he can't change anything, nothing at all. If you guys remember, I said at the very fucking beginning, my nigga, his dad is in a court case for the trial of his murder. If he learned that he can't change anything and he has to move on, and we sat here for 2 hours and 30 minutes having him see that lesson, then why would he possibly change anything else? Right? Why the fuck would that nigga change anything else after having to deal with 2 hours and 30 minutes of bullshit that he already learned? That was his entire character arc, was realizing I have to move on. I should not change anything. In the very beginning of the movie, the dad basically, the one thing that can cure, that can, you know, free his name of being the killer, whatever, is if they can place him inside the store at that very fucking moment, which he was at the store. The dad wasn't the killer, so obviously he would be inside that store. But the camera shot of you know, that would free his name, whatever the fuck, is too high, and like the dad has to reach down to grab the tomatoes, so you never see the nigga's face. He's wearing a hat. You never see his face go there. So of course they can't clear his name because you never see his fucking face. This nigga Barry moves all the green tomatoes from the bottom shelf to the top shelf, so the dad has to be like, and look up as he grabs it, and of course the camera sees him, and then the court's like, yo, see, I told you, you can clearly see his face now. Why are you still changing shit? We just learned that you changing anything can have the most drastic of fucking choices, bro. We just spent 3 hours realizing that. And you, not even 5 seconds after holding Barry 2, like, I'll change everything back, I promise, dying in your arms, still changed some bullshit. So he goes back to the fucking original timeline. The mom is dead, of course, now. He goes into the courtroom, and the dad and the fucking lawyer's like, yo, I don't know how this happened, but randomly the footage changed, and now he's looking up and we can see his face. The court cheers, and the judge's like, oh, dismissed. He's out of here. And everybody's cheering and jumping. Hey. So you're thinking, yo, he went and gets everything he learned and changed it. Yo, okay, all right, bet, say less. So Barry walks outside, of course, in the final scenes of the fucking movie, and he's talking to Batman like, yo, I got so much shit I have to fucking tell you, nigga, bro. And I know we've been best friends for life, Ben Affleck. Bro. I can't wait till I see you so I can talk to you. And then Batman's car pulls up. George Clooney gets out the car. Yo, I'm Batman. Nigga, no, you're not! Oh. Oh my god, bro. Like, you didn't have to do anything, bro. Let your fucking punk ass dad go to jail, dog. Oh, that shit, it didn't even piss me off, bro. It's just like, we went through this whole movie of you trying to learn this lesson, and then immediately you go against the one singular lesson that you're trying to fucking teach us. And you know the reason I hate this movie is that lesson would apply to my life like amazingly right now. Like, yo, you have to move on, whatever the fuck, you have to move on. That lesson, that should hit home right here for me right now, my nigga, 1,000,000,000%. I took that lesson and I was like, nigga, that's ass in this case. Like, that shit made me like, nah, fuck no, nigga, hell nah. Like, it just makes no fucking sense, bro. Go watch the movie. I could literally just sit here. It's been 30 fucking minutes. I won't take all y'all's fucking time, my nigga. I really won't. I'm just ranting at this point, it sounds like. Go watch the movie. Let me know what the fuck y'all niggas feel about it. The CGI makes it just unbearable to watch. Like, it's terrible. Like, every character is damn near CGI, my nigga. Like, of course, there's 2 Barrys and there's not 2 Ezra Millers in real life, so one has to be completely CGI'd. So anytime they're both on the screen together, one of them just looks mad uncanny, like just doesn't look fucking real. And of course, you know about like their movements and shit when the fucking CGI Ezra Miller is moving, they're like, oh, just like mad bouncy and shit, because humans don't fucking move like that. Like, it just go watch it, bro, or don't. I don't give a fuck less. Matter of fact, I lowered my score. 1 out of 10. It's a 1 out of 10, bro. Coming off Guardians of the Galaxy 3, coming off Across the Spider-Verse, I can't let this slide at all. I can't let this slide at all, bro. Like, I'm just sitting here, it's pissing me off thinking about it. My legs shaking and shit, bro. This shit got me mad thinking about this movie. And it's like, I didn't even hit all my points I wanted to hit. I'm just gonna stop the video right here because I'm 30 minutes in. And this just sounds like I'm rambling, I'm sure, bro. I didn't even hit every single fucking point. I'm out of here, bro. Check on your strong friends. Pray for your enemies, knowledge at least. Wish them well. And I'll see y'all niggas in the next one, bro. Peace out, family, on some real shit. God damn, man.